Read the tea leaves for us, if you will, Zach.
Why did
is AbbVie telling us, is AbbVie pretty much telling us that this deal is dead? The market's certainly interpreting it that way.
This deal is dead. AbbVie wouldn't have bothered to come out and say they're just following the legal steps they have to do to kill this deal, and they're going to have to pay a $1.6 billion breakup fee to make it go away. So you can tell that these Treasury Department rules really had an
Jack Lew has a
impact.
big smile on his face right now.
That's right.
And that's very interesting, isn't it? Because when the Treasury Department, and these aren't even rules yet, these are proposed rules. When
That's right.
Lew announced these proposed rules, there was a lot of head scratching, and people weren't, a lot of tax lawyers, of course, were analyzing this, a lot of corporate M&A lawyers were analyzing it, and not really certain whether the rules would have the desired effect. Several companies, Medtronic, for example, which is trying to buy Britain's Covidien, said, not going to stop us. Burger King, which is buying Canada's Tim Hortons, not going to stop us. This is a big deal.
Even AbbVie said at first, we're going to move forward with the merger. Something changed in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it was that they just did more analysis or they talked to the Treasury or whatever. They got the sense that this was really going to have an impact on their transaction.
Can we just talk for a second? Who, my friend, is feeling the pain? We've heard that hedge funds had billion-dollar positions, and they have to just be gushing blood today.
Absolutely.
Playing the arbitrage trade,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in a deal like this, a huge amount of Shire stock is going to be bought by merger arbitrageurs who buy Shire and short AbbVie, and they bet on the spread. Now, after the Treasury rules, you talked to some lawyers who were saying, we were telling people they should short the deal because they thought that the market had underappreciated the power of these Treasury rules. Now,
and they were right.
We learned, and they were right, and today we learned.
Now, you said that something happened over the past couple of weeks, and it is impossible for us to know without more information from AbbVie what it was that changed the board's mind. But speculate, if you wouldn't mind. Based on the reporting that you've done, these are proposed rules. The Treasury Department is getting comment letters. What can we surmise from, just what's supposed to happen?
Right. I mean, one thing is that, even though the Treasury rules, I think they were 40 pages long, even though they were 40 pages long, there's a lot of gray areas in there. And so maybe as they thought more carefully about how they would actually apply. And also, the Treasury said, not only are we giving you these new rules now, but we're going to write other rules later, specifically addressing earnings stripping, that might also have an effect. And if AbbVie got the idea that those were coming too, that could really put a nail in it.
So the reason, ostensibly, that Burger King is still going ahead with Tim Hortons and Medtronic is still going ahead with Covidien is because of what they've said. There are many other reasons to do these deals other than the tax advantages, whether it be the lower corporate tax rate or freeing the cash trapped overseas. We had a couple of very big-time M&A bankers in here the other day. I can't mention who they were because the conversation was off the record, but they told us that it would be, as far as they're concerned, inadvisable to try and put forth a deal now, an inversion deal purely for the benefit of taxes, and this would suggest that they were right.
That's right. And it's important to note that since the Treasury rules came out, there have been 2 inversions announced, 2 new inversions. So boards knew ahead of time that they were going to be facing these new rules. So that just shows that these rules, even though they're stopping certain deals like AbbVie that had a big tax component to them, they're not stopping all inversions, and companies will continue to try to get offshore.